Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the GameSpot UK stage here at MCM Expo. I am lucky enough to be joined by Greg and Scott from Volition. They're going to be talking about Saints Row the Third. A round of applause, please. So guys, welcome to the stage. Tell us a little bit about Saints Row the Third. What I know about it, it's a very austere, serious depiction of the real world.
You've been looking at the wrong game. This is anything but serious. For those of you who aren't familiar with the franchise, open world sandbox game where the focus is on fun and it's a little bit sophomoric, a little bit immature. That's exactly how we want it. We know if you make this type of game, players are going to go in and just muck about in the world and mess with the pedestrians, and we wanted to make sure it was fun for players to do that and give them the tools to make it fun. So right now, Scott's just kind of driving around, taking out one of the rival games. They're called Luchadors. They're an ex-Mexican wrestling game. Shooting them, running them over, shotgunning them, human shields. And now he's got what is called the Professor Genki Mollusk Shooter. I kid you not, this RPG shoots out octopus that actually yell and then fix themselves on enemies' heads, and then will fight for you until you detonate them off sequentially.
So Greg, tell everyone a little bit about where you are through the game here. This isn't right at the beginning, is it?
You're right, sorry guys. So potentially what we've started here is just kind of the open world mayhem that you can experience when you're playing this game. Obviously the game has a very compelling narrative that's, you can go through missions, but a big part of the sandbox games are actually, it's just bucking about in the world, and that's what we're doing here. This is the southwest section of the city. Each section of the city is controlled by one of the three gangs that are your main antagonists in the game. This particular one is owned by the Luchadors, and there's an example of one of the citizens that you'll find in the gang. In this gang, it's a little bit offensive, a little bit of fun, and all about being a good time.
Who was that guy running around?
That was just one of the citizens of Steelport. We don't know who it was. It's we like to refer to Steelport as kind of like Bangkok's ornery uncle. It makes Bangkok look like a pretty benign place.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
So Scott's going around and interacting in various ways with all the citizens here.
I'll try not to scratch him.
What we have in the game is something called an awesome button, and just by pressing this button, you can quickly take out pedestrians, jump into cars. And our philosophy when making this game design-wise was to make the fun things very easy and easily accessible for players.
And one thing we forgot to mention is we've got some rather fetching Saints Row memorabilia here. One of which is some sunglasses. Do you want to?
I love the model.
Awesome.
Yeah, these are going to be modelled. Who would like some Saints Row the Third glasses, sunglasses? Quite a few here.
All right.
So we'll try.
Yeah, look.
Should we toss it down?
Yeah.
All right. So at the back. Hopefully they're okay. There we go. And then what are these? Greg, tell us a little bit about these. These are.
So we also have these little bobbleheads. The bobbleheads are characters of the main enemies in the game. This one happens to be Killbane. Killbane is the leader of the Luchadors, and it's just kind of fun to have this little bobblehead guy. And, so, goes out too?
Go for it. Yeah. So who wants a bobblehead?
Oh, they're hard to throw. I gotta put some more weight behind that.
We have got lots of bobbleheads. So let's.
Throwing stuff is always fun. Sit up front.
Guys, you could be more excited
sit
than
up
that
front.
for bobbleheads. Come on.
Sit up front.
And then finally, we've got the Saints Row t-shirts here as well.
We'll sit front, quick.
So this is official Saints Row wear.
Look at these shades, I think.
What's this on the back here?
Right here in the back, a large part of the game, which is Professor Genki's Super Ethical Reality Climax Show, is one of the activities in the game, and it's kind of indicative of the whole personality of the game. And I think Professor Genki is he going to be making an appearance?
So he's going to be here at MCM Expo.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's actually apropos that he's going to be here.
So who wants a Saints Row t-shirt? Want to get one as well, Greg?
Oh, come on.
then maybe a couple more bobbleheads.
Oh, it is.
What's that? Oh, bobblehead down there. So sorry, we've taken away from the game a bit here. He's still playing. Tell us about this, the driving in the game.
To get
Well, in these open world games, driving is going to be primary mode of how you get around in the area, transportation. So it's very important for the driving to feel very satisfying, fast, fluid, and fun. So again, I don't know if you guys are fans of the franchise. This is the third one in the iteration. It's built entirely on new technology, proprietary technology created by the developer, Volition. And because of that, we were able to, in particular with the driving, start from the ground up and revamp and retweak and retune all the physics. And it just, when you play it, you'll see. It's a lot of fun to drive. Fast, fluid, and fun. You can do these 180s. You got the drift button in, and if you're going to be driving around, spending that much time driving, let's make sure that the vehicles are fun to drive.
I'm glad we've come on to this section as well, because this is the character customization. This is a huge part of the game. Tell us what you're going to be able to do.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the franchise, character customization is one of the staple features. You can pretty much create any character that you want. Scout is in a store called Let's Pretend. This is the costume store. This is where you're going to go to find some of the more outlandish outfits, and many of you here may be able to relate to these in here.
Can you cosplay in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you see a bunch of furries running around, a bunch of gimps. Like I said, Steelport's a very interesting place. But you can get very granular too. I mean, Scott can put rings on, you can put tattoos on. Basically, it allows you to pretty much create any character that you can conceive of.
This is a pretty accurate model of Scott as well, right?
I have seen him with his shirt off, and he looks like that. Back in the States, he wears that outfit.
So we've got some more stuff to give away here for anyone who has a question for either of the guys about the game. Anyone have any burning questions about Saints Row or any of Volition's games? Maybe at the front in the I Like Trains t-shirt. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Do you have my mic?
I noticed playing the demo of Saints Row the Third that the control scheme has been altered somewhat from Saints Row 2. Is there any way to change it back at all?
We have, there are options within the menu scheme. Whether or not it's going to be a one-to-one match for Saints Row 2, I don't remember. I worked on Saints Row 2 when it was a long time ago, and I forget, but our changes are based on usability tests. So we did it based on people coming in and saying you need to change this, for a better overall user experience. Scott, do you know offhand if there is a SR2 option within the menu control scheme? To go back to SR2 scheme, like A button to accelerate, is that what you're saying, for example? Right.
To go back to the controls?
Is there an SR2 control scheme in Saints Row the Third?
No, there's just the default one.
Blame him, he's the designer.
It's his fault.
Hello? It's sort of a film question. There's been a lot of talk about this being brought up, or the rights being this game being brought up as a film. Is there any truth in those rumors?
Is there going to be a film of this?
Yes, I've been looking at the various forums on the internet, and I think someone is going to option. I'm not sure if it's Paramount or Warner's, one of the two. Am I going correct?
Alright, so I'm going to watch the PR person over here and make sure that I don't say it. What I've heard, the latest I heard is, yes, there are studios that were interested in making it into a film. What level and what stage of development they're at, I'm not entirely positive. There have been talks and meetings with various directors and talent. Is that good? I didn't breach any contract there? Alright, great.
Next question. Any other questions? Thank you.
I haven't really been keeping up with the actual Saints Row 2 itself, but is it coming out for the PC? And if so, what the development kit do it?
What was the last part of that question? Is it coming out on the PC? Yes.
And will the development kit?
An SDK? Will it come
Yeah,
out with
yeah.
an SDK? No, it won't come out with an SDK, but I know there's a lot of criticism of Saints Row 2's PC, and for Saints Row the Third, we're developing it in-house, and it's actually, it's pretty stunning. We're very excited about it, but unfortunately no SDK because we run into a lot of QA problems when we go that route. Perhaps in a patch release or something, I don't know, we can look into it.
Oh, yeah. From the start, is it completely free roam? I mean, you don't have to do missions to like start the game itself.
Not right from the start. You have to play through 3 missions, and we use that as a real attention grabber to help give you an introduction into the story, what had happened in the Saints and Saints Row 2, as well as a tutorial for some of the control changes. And I would say that most players will probably get through the first 3 missions in about 20 minutes. And after that, the whole world's open up to you. And you can either play the activities, roam around the world, or go missions, or a mix and match of both. And that's the great thing about open world games.
Okay. Thanks very much for those questions. If you want to just come and grab some goodies, the man in the beanie, can we see a little bit more of the game here? Can you just tell us exactly what's happening here?
Well, Scott is continuing to be dressed up as a cheerleader, and he has hijacked a cop car. At the start of the game, the store right here is Planet Saints. The Saints at the start of this game are at the top of their game. They're bona fide celebrities. They've licensed out their image to lunchboxes, bobbleheads, and in the game there's actually a Saints Row movie in development. So they're kind of known in the world. And this is actually a Johnny Gatmobile. If you're familiar with the franchise, Johnny Gat is one of the Saints lieutenants. And that's his car, and he's got a flamethrower for the cigarette. And, why do we have that? Again, the question's kind of like, why not? Because it's a lot of fun. It's pretty fun to drive around. And, again, focus and vision of this game is all about over-the-top craziness and fun.
So when did you decide to kind of take this, when you were moving from Saints Row 2 to the third one, did you just decide it's all out, we're just going to throw in every idea that we've ever had or wanted to do and just see how it goes?
The short answer is yes. I would say after Saints Row 2 came out, we saw that our fans really resonated with what we wanted to do. That septic adventure, that crazy over-the-top gameplay. So with making a new city, starting from scratch, it's like, you know what? Let's push the envelope. Let's surpass people's expectations. This is what our fans want. We think gamers want this, and I'm biased, but I think we're good at doing it. And it's been a hell of a lot of fun working on this game.
And so we're seeing it on Xbox 360 here. It's also on PlayStation 3 and PC as well.
Yep, 360, PS3, and PC shipping on this side of the pond on the 18th.
And here at MCM, what are you showing? What can people see if they go over to the booth, which is just over that way?
Well, they can play missions if they want. We can guide them through the open world. The entire world's open to them. We can get them some upgrades, and Scott and I will be over there throughout the day to answer any personal questions. Not personal questions. We'll be able to answer questions that people have about the game.
They can try and ask a personal question when you answer it.
We'll make something up.
Okay. And so it's over at MCM very soon. Are you guys thinking about post-release content at this stage? Can we expect to see the game expanded at all?
Absolutely. And so we have a small DLC team that's been working on post-launch content for a little bit now since the game was in submission, and it was a good seller for us on Saints Row 2, and we're going to improve upon that on the third. And everything from mission packs to piecemeal items like clothing packs and additional weapons.
Okay, good stuff. Is there anything else that we want to show to the crowd here? I mean, we are going to be demoing it each day on the stage, so you can come back and see some new content. Anything else worth showing?
Scott?
I want to try to get over to the player creation customization. So check out the male, female, and sex appeal slider.
What's the sex appeal slider?
You'll see.
Some impressive driving here as well. Good stuff.
I have a lot of practice. I play the game a bit, so I like to crash into every single thing I can find.
And also people.
There you go. So where Scott's going is a store called Image as Design. In addition to being able to change the clothes of your character, you can also change the body type, sex, voice. There's a lot of positing on the face. Again, it's one of our staple features that we've improved upon this in Saints Row the Third. And even though I'm biased, I do think it's the most robust character customization system in any game. I'll show you what we mean right here. So it's, ostensibly it's plastic surgery, but basically it's all about giving players the freedom to create any character they want.
It's impressive.
Oh my god.
There we go. Is that the first time that's been done in a video game? I'm trying to think.
I think so.
As far as I know.
Which is kind of amazing, because I figured, that it would be a no-brainer in other games.
Avatar.
Yeah, we improved, it's been able to change into crazy skin color like green, and it's all about making these features accessible to players, so it's easier for them to create their favorite avatar.
And so when you start the game, you can create your own character and then decide to change as you go by visiting this plastic surgery.
Yeah, in fact, we just released a demo called Initiation Station, where you'll be able to create your character before launch, import it into the game at launch, and also import other characters that other people who are on the community side have created. It's really slick. Because, I always know that I've seen sites where this is like, wow, this guy created a Joker, it looks fantastic. And now, with Saints Row the Third, you actually have to tag it, bring it in your game, and play with that character.
Good stuff. We've got time for a couple more questions before the end of the session. Any other questions for Saints Row 3? The gentleman on the end.
What's the range of vehicles that you can drive in the game? Is it just cars or is it bikes as well? Are there any flying vehicles?
Oh yeah, we're going to figure out tomorrow, if you're back here tomorrow, to show you some of the flying vehicles. We're running the gambit here. We have over 75 vehicles, air, land, and sea. When it comes to air, we've got VTOL, we even got a hover bike in this, and that's what we want to show you tomorrow. Again, it's like pushing things to the limit. It's all about fun. And come back tomorrow and we'll show you some of those vehicles in action.
Is there any way of importing your character from previous Saints Row games into this one?
Unfortunately, no. Because the game was like all new technology, which in our opinion makes for a better game overall, there were some same game discrepancies there. We looked into it and couldn't do it. I blame Scott again.
Hello?
Hi.
Will there be any new activities?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we are. An example of the new activity is Professor Genki's Super Ethical Reality Climax. It's a combination of the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Running Man and a Japanese game show. We might be able to show them that real quick here. You want to? We'll give you an example of one of the new activities is here, and you'll get an idea of what we're talking about. You won't be disappointed. Always going over there. That's all right. Okay.
That's classic.
What online multiplayer features are going to be in the game?
We have co-op players, so 2 players who
Things go
ran
through.
PSN or Xbox Live. You can play through the entire campaign with a friend. It's basically the same model as Saints Row 2, seamless drop in, drop out. And our philosophy there was, it was so well received by players that we didn't want to touch it, didn't want to mess with it. But one of the greatest things about co-op is just when you're there together in the world, just messing about. It's a lot of fun.
That's good.
Have we got this next section of gameplay?
How far are we? Close, Scott?
Relatively.
Or do we need to cut it off?
We can we can take one more question while he gets there. Sorry, Dan.
Guy with the box.
What about cheat codes? Will there be any new cheat codes into the new Saints Row game?
Oh, absolutely. The designers like to go crazy and wacky with the cheat codes. So there's a whole bunch of them.
We don't want cheats though.
And Scott, you remember any specific cheats?
So Scott, you're
Right here.
busy crashing.
All right.
Nice dismount. You just can't resist briefing someone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Professor Genki's Super Ethical Reality Climax. Spot. Today's contestant is
So it's an underground game show and you have to go through and shoot mascots.
Rising their fame is the leader of the Saints. Our contestant has come to Steelport and into the Genki Arena.
Well, whether you love, hate, or downright loathe the Saints, you have to respect this competitor.
When it comes to destruction at the end of a smoking gun, this is a true pro.
And like any game show, there's certain targets that can be bonuses, ones that penalize you. And you've got announcers that will actually react to how you're performing in real time.
That's some great action.
So a little different from Saints Row 2, huh?
Every contestant on Professor Genki should perform as well.
Liking the commentary as well, particularly on it. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for today's demo of Saints Row the Third. If we can have a round of applause for our demos, Greg and Scott. Greg, just remind everyone when they can get the game and what platforms.
This game's coming out November 18th on PS3, 360, and PC. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We appreciate it.
And
Buy
you
it.
can see, you
Come
can
play
see
Xbox Live, mate.
tomorrow.
Yes.
So do come back.